Okay, so after you do the sketch, you are going to go in and sample some colors from the original photograph, and you're going to kind of block them out. We call this blocking in shapes or values. So you're essentially going to be sampling colors from the photograph of the highlights, the midtones, and the shadows, and then just kind of laying them out roughly within the shape of the object. So let me show how I do that. Then after it's all laid out, we're then going to go in and blend it all together. So you kind of start very broad, get your basic colors down, and then you can go in and blend them. So when I'm looking at my composition here, you kind of want to work in layers. We have been so far here. I've just kind of locked my sketch layer so I don't accidentally draw on that. And I'm going to add multiple layers for my paint layers here. So what I'm going to do is add a new layer, and I'm going to call this one the back grapefruit. Okay, so I'm going to work on this grapefruit first. So now I want to look closely at the colors in the photograph and kind of lay out some of the colors as I paint. Remember, with your paintbrush, if I'm on B on my keyboard, if you need to erase, you can go to E. You can also Control Z to step back. And then with your any of these brushes, if you press the right bracket on your keyboard, your brush will get bigger. The left bracket, your brush will go smaller. So those are the brackets that are next to the P. You can also hold down the shift and press the right bracket down, and your brush will get harder. And then shift left, the brush will get softer. I want a hard edge brush here. And right now, I'm just using my mouse pad, but you can use your tablet for this too. To do a really solid blob of paint, I like to use my mouse pad because it's not pressure sensitive. So what I'm going to do to get this background fruit, I'm just going to do I'm on the brush tool, my right bracket to make my brush almost the size of the grapefruit. So I can just do one blob of paint here. So what I want to do though is find the color that I need to use. So I'm going to go to the eyedropper tool. It's I on your keyboard. And what it does is it samples the color from the photograph and it'll put it in your swatch so you can paint it in the picture. So what I'm going to do is go over to this grapefruit because that's what I'm painting first. And I'm going to get like the mid-tone color, like kind of the middle range, not the darker tone, not the really bright tone, probably something like in this range. Okay, and then I just sampled it. It goes in my swatch. I'm going to go back to B on my keyboard. And this is going to be my base color. Eventually, we're going to like turn off the sketch layer. You can turn it on and off. But that just gives me a nice smooth edge as well. So I'm just going to kind of look through here and start mapping out and chunking out some of these values. I'm going to completely ignore the front grapefruit and just look at the background for now. So when I zoom into this, Control Plus, if you hold the space bar down, it'll turn to a hand and you can kind of move the page around so you can see closely. I'm just going to continue to okay, I'm going to sample this color. I'm going to go to my brush, make it smaller this time, and I'm just going to lay out some of these colors. So it looks like this color, and it's going to look really rough at first, but we're going to blend these eventually. And then maybe sample this color. It's really sharp there. Now, it's hard for me to see where this will exactly be. So you can go to the layer it's on, and you can turn down the opacity, and so I can see the sketch through it. So that's why I'm just temporarily turning that down so I can see where like this little shadow would be. So it kind of comes to here. But like I said, we're going to blend it eventually too. So I know this looks really, really rough, but we are going to blend this. We are going to make this look a lot better. So I'm laying out these chunks of value. I'm going to turn the opacity back up and just kind of going around, pressing the eye, going here, and I'm ignoring all the details. We're going to do the details like the specks and stuff later. I'm just trying to get like a little bit of shadow, mid-tone, highlight, just basic color changes, I guess you could say, in this because I don't want it to be flat. I want it to have some value. So even where the stem is, it looks like it gets a little darker underneath the stem. I'm completely ignoring the stem. I'm not painting that. I'm just looking at the body of the fruit.